this video, I'm going to share how to make your own homemade tandoor barbecue using a metal steel barrel. So for this, what I've done is I have bought this food grain quality barrel. I think it has 55 gallons, if I'm not wrong. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you step by step how to transform this barrel into very authentic barbecue, or we also call it as tandoor, using actual clay from inside for coating, and not using any of the pottery based flower pots. So this barrel which I got, it has a lid on it, which will help me later on covering the barbecue when I'm not using it. And it's very clean from inside. It's already pressure washed, so there is nothing there. There is no dirt, nothing at all. It's very clean from inside. And I wanted to make this tandoor as mobile as possible. So the first time I'm going to do is I am going to mount 4 caster wheels on it. And for that, first thing I have to do is turn this over upside down, and then I have to measure, I have to divide 4 sections so that I can install 4 caster wheels which will be equidistant, and using the self-drilling screws which I've got, and I'm going to show you how to move forward with it. So this is the step 1. So for this I bought this 4 caster wheels, and the one which I got can swivel around 360 degrees for better mobility, but it's up to you if you want to buy just restricted ones or bigger ones. But I think for me, for my cause, I think this size is pretty good. And also I got this 14 by 1 inches self-drilling screws, which fits perfectly into these holes that we have. And the idea is we're going to install it on 4 corners like this. So for that, what I'm going to do is first I'm going to drill a pilot hole just to make sure that the screws is sticking into the hole and it's perfectly aligned. So let's begin. The first thing I have to mark is the 4 corners to begin with, and then I'm going to transfer 4 separate equal distance point onto the surface of this barrel. Okay, so I have transferred the 4 points onto the surface on the corners of the barrel, and I'm going to draw just straight line just to find the equal distance from the edge. And once I've transferred this line onto the surface of the barrel, the next thing I'm going to do is mark about 2 inches roughly, to see if this is centered enough, and which is, I think, looks pretty good. They look good, and yeah, it's pretty good actually. So I got the center, and I think it's about 2 inches. So 2 inches is the center of the caster wheel, which I'm going to start with, and I'm going to install this 4 caster wheel. So as you can see, I'm actually keeping this caster wheel about 2 inches from the edge, and now I'm going to mark with a marker pen the holes where I need to drill. I'm going to repeat it for all the 4 wheels. So here we are. We have installed all the wheels, and they are properly anchored also, and it rotates all 360 degrees. The caster wheels, the next step is to make a marking to create a ash door. So ideally what I would do is make the ash door right in the center of these 2 wheels, somewhere here, and I will be doing the marking here. So one thing I have to remember is that I am planning to use the bottom of this portion from inside using brick and mortar. So the typical size of a brick is 8 inches by 4 inches by 2.5 inches. Half an inch is for mortar, so about 3 inches. So what I will do is mark from here and about 4 inches, and then I will make a marking here, and then I will make a cut. I found the center of these two, the space between the two caster wheels is roughly here, and then I use masking tape to actually draw the opening size which I plan to do. This distance is about 3 inches, and this door opening is about 5.5 inches, and from here to here it's about 8 inches. The reason is because I did not want it to go beyond this caster wheel. I wanted to contain this door in between the wheels, and also I think if we don't want to make it too big, I'm going to use this circular saw to cut this marked portion and take it out completely, and use this cutout piece as the door. Here we are. So I have cut this piece, and I'm just going to take it out. So now this will become the door, like this. So the next step is I'm going to install 2 hinges, and I have to make sure that this hinge is installed in such a way that the door should open outside, not inside. And also, so one will go here and second one will go here, and I'm also going to install a barrel bolt right here. All right, so I have installed 2 hinges and a barrel bolt on this the door. The next step would be to install these hinges onto the actual barrel, and the other piece of it will go on the barrel also. So the easiest way to align and make sure that the hinges are installed properly is just tape it up before you drill the holes on these hinges, as well as for the deadbolt. So as you can see, it's perfectly aligned, and I've taped it using masking tape. So now I just have to drill it, the holes here. All right, so the hinges are installed and the barrel bolt is also installed, and this is how it looks like. Very clean. So the next step is that I will be aligning the bottom of this barrel with these clay bricks like this. So I got this mortar mix. So the first layer that I'm going to do is lay out this mortar and then top it off with the brick and then fill it up to make it smooth. What I've done is I put dry mortar mix in this plastic pan, and I have made a central hole just to collect the water, and I'm going to mix it together to form a uniform mix. So as you can see, so this is what the consistency looks like. It's not too soggy, it's not too dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the first layer about 1/2 inch right at the bottom, and then put the bricks on top of it, and then cover it with the remaining mortar. That's my plan. So let's see how it goes. So as you can see underneath, I've applied the first half inch layer of the mortar. So I'm going to start laying the bricks on top of it. The bricks I got, my friend was throwing away a bunch of bricks, so I just brought it here and pre-soaked them in water. And then I'm going to start is the first layer of the brick. I'm going to start from the corner and go all the way this way. And so this is how the bottom brick lining looks like. All right, I'm done. So this is how the bottom surface looks like. Very, very smooth. All I did was poured the mortar mix on top of the brick layer and just smoothened it out, you know. So for the next phase, what I have done is I got this nice clay from a construction site and then just soaked it overnight in water to make it softer. And also I got this a bale of haystack. I actually am using the old method, you know, just mixing them together and then pasting them in layers just like this. So this is how it looks like from inside. I've done one layer of the lining and it's about 2 inches, and I'm going to apply some more. The most important thing to remember is the consistency. Should not be too liquidy or it should not be too dry. It should be just about right size where you can pick up the mix and apply it over here, and it should stick onto the surface. So I kept it to dry just like this for almost a week, but it has not dried up fully because of the weather. But as you can see, as it dries up, it's going to develop crack, which is normal. So the next step is I'm going to light up a fire inside to bake it, and once this is done, I think it's going to develop more cracks, and then I'm going to fill it up with more clay, and maybe one more coat will be required. We are ready to light the fire. 1, 2, and 3. The idea is I'm going to let it burn with full flame, and then I'm going to just cover it up with the lid so that it can retain the heat inside and bake it completely. There you go. So after the wood catches good fire, generally what I am doing is I'm actually going to cover with this lid with slight opening so that moisture can evaporate. So I have covered up the lid to ensure that the heat is retained inside, but I've left a little opening this side on the other side for cross ventilation and for allowing the moisture inside to evaporate. So this is how it looks like. This is where the ash can be collected from the door, which I created last time. So I will just let this fire burn for at least an hour or so, or just an hour whenever it dies automatically. So most likely about a couple of hours. The last thing which I wanted to install inside was the rack for charcoal and the wood. So I came up with this idea. I actually put 3 bricks around the corner here. My idea was to make it portable so that I can actually remove the rack as soon as I wanted, because they get rusty. So I didn't want it to poke hole through the oven. So I just used clay and erected these 3 bricks over there that will act as a stand. And this I got it from local store, just the top of a barbecue grill, and I'm just going to put it right on top, just like that, and there you go. So charcoal will come on top of this, and when it burns, the ash will be going down, which will be collected right from here. So it's almost ready for prime time.